Have you ever tried a cleanse only to end up feeling way worse than when you started? Yeah, me too. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful 3-day liver cleanse that is completely different from the usual stuff. It's all about working with your body, not against it, to get some pretty incredible results without making you feel sick. And if you can relate to this, you are definitely not alone. I mean, the whole idea of a cleanse sounds great, but the reality, it can be absolutely brutal, leaving you totally drained and stuck in bed. The approach we're going to explore today is designed to avoid that whole mess entirely. So, okay, instead of trying to force the body with all these harsh herbs or juices, what if we could just, amplify the powerful cleaning systems it already has built in? To do that, we first need to understand how our body's own natural detox process actually works. All right, the key to this entire process is this amazing biological mechanism, and it's called autophagy. You can think of it as your body's ultimate spring cleaning service and recycling program, all rolled into one powerful function. I know, it's a weird word. Autophagy literally means self-eating, and honestly, it's the perfect description. Your body goes around, it identifies old, junky, damaged cell parts, microbes, all that waste. Then it breaks them all down and recycles the raw materials to build brand new, shiny, healthy cells. It's an incredibly efficient, built-in system for just hitting the reset button. So how does this happen on a tiny microscopic level? Well, inside every single one of our cells, we have these little guys called lysosomes. The best way to think of them is as the cell's own personal garbage disposals, or maybe even incinerators. They take all that cellular junk and just burn it up. This cleans house so the cell can work perfectly. So when we trigger autophagy, we're basically firing up millions of these tiny incinerators all at once. Okay, so the big question is, how do we turn this system on? How do we flip that switch? Well, it turns out there are a few ways to trigger autophagy, and we can actually rank them, from the ones that have a pretty mild effect to the ones that are just incredibly powerful. So let's run through the list, starting with the mildest. At number 7, you've got phytonutrients, the stuff from plants. Then at 6, going on a keto diet. At 5, we've got exercise, followed by sleep at number 4, and then restricting calories at number 3. All of these will trigger autophagy to some degree. But now we're getting to the heavy hitters. At number 2, we have water fasting, which is super powerful. But there is one trigger that's even more effective. Any guesses what's hiding at number 1? The single most powerful trigger for autophagy is dry fasting. And yes, that means consuming no food and no water for a specific period of time. It is by a long shot the most potent way to kickstart this deep cellular cleansing from the inside out. And here's just how powerful we're talking. Get this. The research suggests that just one single day of dry fasting can trigger the same level of autophagy as 3 full days of a water fast. That is a 3-to-1 increase in cleansing efficiency. It's just incredible. Now, before you start to panic, let me be clear. We are not talking about going days and days without water. This protocol is for a very manageable, limited time, basically 12 hours, from sunrise to sunset. You know that old rule about only being able to survive 3 days without water? It's kind of a myth. And part of the reason is that when your body burns fat for fuel, your fat cells actually release water, helping to hydrate you from the inside. But of course, as always, you should talk to your doctor before trying any kind of fasting protocol. The benefits you get from giving your body this short break are just huge. Your kidneys and your liver get a much-needed vacation. It can seriously enhance your immune system, improve your mental clarity, and bring down inflammation in a big way. So how do we get all these benefits? Let's get into the actual plan. Okay, so we've got the science down. Now let's look at what the actual 3-day protocol looks like. The structure here is so simple. For 3 days, you're going to dry fast from sunrise to sunset. Then, once the sun goes down, you eat one specific, really nutrient-dense meal. That's it. It's basically a modified version of a 1 meal a day, or OMAD plan. So what's in this one magic meal? Well, the first part is cruciferous vegetables. We're talking things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale. These guys are just packed with compounds that help support your liver's detox pathways. And hey, here's a pro tip. If you can find broccoli sprouts, go for them. They can be 20 to 50 times more concentrated in these helpful compounds than the mature broccoli. Sauerkraut is another fantastic choice.
The second component of your meal is meat. So, why meat? Because it's a fantastic source of an amino acid called glutamine, which your body needs to build something called glutathione. And glutathione is basically the body's master antioxidant. It is absolutely essential for detoxification. Plus, meat gives you iron and B vitamins, which are crucial helpers in this whole cleansing process.
So we have the plan. But hang on, there is one last and I mean critical precaution. This is the absolute key to making sure you do this cleanse without getting sick. So let's just ask the question directly. Why is it that so many people feel absolutely terrible when they try to detox? Well, it's often not the toxins themselves that are the problem, it's a plumbing issue. The main culprit is often something called bile sludge. I know, it sounds pretty gross, but basically, if the bile in your gallbladder gets too thick and sticky, it can't flow out properly. So when your liver starts working hard and dumping all these toxins during the cleanse, they just get stuck, backed up. And this toxic traffic jam is what causes the nausea, the headaches, and that classic I feel awful detox reaction. But luckily, the fix for this is super simple, and this is something you do before you start the cleanse. You just want to focus on thinning out your bile. You can do this by eating beets, drinking some apple cider vinegar and water, or even taking a bile salt supplement. This helps open up all those pathways and make sure everything flows smoothly, preventing that nasty toxic backup. So let's put it all together one more time. Here is the whole protocol in a nutshell. First, thin your bile before you start. Then, for 3 days, you dry fast during the daytime. And in the evening, you eat your one meal of meat and cruciferous veggies. See? It's a simple, elegant, and really powerful system. You know, this whole approach is just a great reminder that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for our body is to just get out of its way and let its own incredible intelligence do the work. It really leaves you with a final thought to chew on. If a simple 12-hour break can be this powerful, what other areas of our health could be completely transformed by doing less, not more?